So in this video, what I'm going to do is, like I said in the previous video, I'm going to start by getting into the node governments and the part 2 of the node system. The governments are chosen in-game by players that are citizens of that node. Positions within the government are attained through titles that grant special access to NPCs in the node, and them titles will include mayor, priests, bishops or acolytes in certain temples, Patron Guild leader and chief bounty hunter. Now I know I could go into them and break them down even further, but it would just, like, I'd be 3D crafting. Some of the stuff wouldn't be facts because we know a lot more about mayors than the other things, and it would also take forever as well. So I'm kind of going to skip that, but I might address that in another video. I'll go into mayors a little bit. Mayors are leaders of the node's government. They control the development of the node, so as the node progresses, they're the ones making, in the background, key decisions and have the kind of final say. But remember, you're putting them in power, so if someone's an awful mayor, you can take them out of power as well. But just to delve into mayors a little bit more, so mayors will be able to allocate resources, taxes and quests to improve the node's defense for invasions or attacks from other nodes or other civilizations. They'll be able to coordinate with other players to transfer the needed supplies through the caravan system or through gathering to create new buildings within the node. Only node citizens can become the mayor of the node. That also includes kings and queens, so they're the titles to be given to people who are the guilds who own the castles and have, the rare flying mounts. As the node advances, the mayor gains new powers and responsibilities. The mayoral role also gains special abilities and stats during sieges or events, and are notified when the node is named on a siege declaration scroll. Now to move on to node elections. So how is node elections going to work? How do these people get in power, and how do different nodes have different people in positions of power, and how do they vary? So I'll just dabble into that a little bit and give some information. After a week of a node being at stage 3, a node election can begin. The election lasts for a week and they happen once every month from that point onwards. Notices of election will be mailed to citizens of the node, and citizens of that node can participate in said election. Node governments are chosen differently in each type of node. Divine nodes, via service-oriented quests that prove faith and dedication to the node. Most of the quests are going to be individual basis and won't utilise help from other guild members, which is awesome and kind of gives the smaller guilds or the smaller players a chance to really get to that endgame content or see some of it and have some power within that gameplay. Economic nodes, via being bought and sold by citizens with the most power. So basically PvEs who I've heard some folks say that they might not be able to play some in the end game. There you go, economic node. PvEs absolutely thrive with making gold, and that's something. If they wanted to do that, they could go straight ahead and do that. So now moving on to the military nodes. Military nodes, I'll be putting the people who do that, I'll be putting the power through a last man standing type of competition through combat, arena style combat using a champion that can be equipped with gear and skills via quest, as well as with gold and materials to make the champion stronger. And the reason it's done this way is due to the system not being balanced enough for 1v1 PvP. That's subject to change, so things might be added in, taken away, but that's really cool, and I can see our guild taking part in that and many other guilds. The arena style combat is planned to be instant, but spectating may be possible through some interface I imagine they're working on or going to implement in the game. That'll be cool because a lot of guilds will be watching that, and that's just like kind of a mini tournament that's not even need to be maintained, won't take much maintenance, but people will be like, oh, I hope this guild gets it, I hope this guild gets it, we might get better taxes, or these guys are douches, don't want them in charge. But that's awesome because it's just going to be renewable, replayable content as well, which is player controlled. Also, mayorship is not transferable. Now, jumping onto scientific nodes, they're elected through democracy or democratically. Records who you've voted for are not planned to be published either. So now moving on to leadership powers, government officials have a large range of powers. So what they'll be able to do is mark foreign citizens, so citizens of another node, as enemies of the state. What that means is it'll stop them coming over and, you know, trying to find out what we're building, what we're focusing on the most, and then it kind of gives them an advantage to their siege if they know what we're doing. They'll get killed by our kind of own NPC army, which means then they have to get into the politics, kind of Game of Thrones-esque vibes going on there, which is a really cool dynamic and system in the game. We'll also be able to declare war on other nodes and rally citizens to the cause, enter into trade agreements that might affect, you know, sending one caravan to the caravan to the other node and basically affect the speed of the road, or maybe the taxation, which might make that third node say, do you know what, you're about to hit these guys, attack these guys, but you're going to affect our bottom line, so they might just jump in because it, not so much because they want to help us, because it benefits them. Directing resources, building projects in the node, tax allocation and setting tax percentage. Now that's a tricky one. If they absolutely go sky high with the taxes, you could be in there as a mayor for a month, and if you're perfect, you could be in with a year. It really, that could be a tricky one that gets people booted out of power. Mayors are able to allocate funds to hire mercenary NPCs to defend the node during sieges, so mercenary guilds. Ability to start quest-driven systems that everyone can participate in, and choose the name of the node from a set list that Intrepid will have thought of. Guilds won't control nodes, however there is a good chance that guilds or alliances in that area that have enough influence will be able to put a mayor in power, which is more than fair, and I think, you know, that'll play out pretty perfect. It's going to be a crazy system though. So getting into Patron Guilds now, and I said I'd talk about that. Patron Guilds ain't also going to control the nodes like I said above, however they can become a Patron Guild of that node. To become a Patron Guild of a node, it means that that guild has had they've put so much work and effort in, and they deserve that, and that's from farming around the area's quest and just anything to do with the systems that's gonna grow that node, and that is how you become a Patron Guild. The Patron Guild may change every month and with every stage of the node, but that might change in Alpha 2 and through the development of the game. You just kind of got to see where that goes and how it works out. But to get on to the benefits of being a Patron Guild, why would you want to be a Patron Guild? Why would you want to farm like crazy? Well, obviously bragging rights, a lot of people will do that. Elitist people, elitist guilds, that's straight away some of the things that is going to draw people to being a Patron Guild. You will also get, though, emblems can be applied to your guild armor purchased from the node, so that kind of is going to be more of bragging rights. So you're going to see them guys and think, wow, like their next level, maybe we should avoid PvP with them, or maybe these guys are good to interact with or get allied with. The ability to interact with a stock marker, the ability to participate in guild-based missions to help level the guild, special guild points that are for specific node abilities, ability to claim a guild hall that is within the node. It has different perks to the ones that are buildable on freeholds. Expeditions, encampments and villages cannot have Patron Guilds though. Towns can have one Patron Guild, cities can have 2, and metropolises can have 3 Patron Guilds. But to conclude the video and bring it to an end, that is part 2 of the node systems. Hopefully between part 1 and part 2 I've kind of give you the information you need and had a bit of a deep dive into it, and you kind of have a better understanding of how these dynamic node systems will work and how it'll affect the world. If you don't, if you're still a bit confused and you want more information, feel free to drop it in the comment section. I'll always get back. It doesn't matter how detailed the comment is or how much information you want, I'll get it down there as well. And if it isn't related to the node or there's something you want to see, just fire it down there. If you do get a chance, drop a like on the video because it does help the channel, and I am putting a lot of time to research and edit and find the information for you, and I do appreciate you watching. And the next video I'm doing is on the freehold system to kind of round up the node system and show you how the freehold system works. I think that's going to be awesome for anyone who's a casual player to a hardcore player, whether you're PvE or PvP. I guarantee you that freehold video will benefit everyone, and everyone should really be taking a part in it, and there's definitely some enjoyment. But I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one.